MLS Summer 2021. Ready for it?
Getting around the keeper, Daryl DK!
Orlando is ready.
We got new cribs ready. Those fans ready? Hey, rookie, you ready?
Do I look ready?
Okay, he's ready. Yo, LA.
Estamos listos.
I think I hear Portland.
Portland's ready!
Yo, you ready for it?
Orlando City and Atlanta United were certainly ready to resume their Eastern Conference rivalry at Exploria Stadium on Friday night. A thriller that sets the tempo for our roundup of Week 16 in MLS. Your commentator is Chris Wise. Now Brooks Lennon. And Martinez! Him again, and here again. Goals against Orlando are his specialist subject. And that is a truly special goal. Mason Steiderhar beaten inside 60 seconds on his debut. Won't be phased though, the goalkeeper. This is a man who has come back from beating cancer. Ready to Lopez and stopped by Steiderhar. That's an exceptional piece of goalkeeping. And he's still not back to his feet yet. This is Müller. Michel. Higuaín. And Michel! And somehow Can denies him twice. Benji Michel will feel he has to score. Oscar Pereira's team beaten 5-0 by NYCFC less than a week ago. That's Kyle Smith, and that is 1-1. A first ever MLS goal for the Orlando defender. Didn't leap the highest, but made the header. Pereira. Nani. Higuaín in attendance and has it, and now Pereira has it, and Nani has given it back to Higuaín, and Müller, and Can stops him. How on earth has the ball stayed out of Atlanta's net? It's an exceptional save from the goalkeeper. In Orlando, who are dominating, but have to be aware of situations like this. Moreno. It's on Walk's part of the Atlanta attack. Moreno! Sensational! What a hit from the Argentinian. The visitors back in front. Pereira. Michel, clever, Van der Vaart 2-2. The substitute with an immediate impact. Quick to react. Sylvester Van der Vaart. Nani stooping! The potential match winner. And it's a role that Nani loves to play. Orlando City 3, Atlanta United 2.
I felt like I had everyone behind me tonight and supporting me, and they got my back. So, yeah, there's a lot of people, countless number of people that have been there with me through the trials and tribulations, especially my mom and dad. You know, former teammates, former coaches, former staff members. Couldn't have got here without them today.
Orlando will follow that victory with a midweek derby against Inter Miami, who were looking for a lift at home to CF Montreal. Federico Higuaín's free kick, the first hint the Florida club could build on last week's draw with the Philadelphia Union, which snapped their 6-game losing streak. But they're bottom of the East for a reason. 20 minutes in, Mathieu Chouanier's cross was palmed by Nick Marsman straight into the path of Joaquin Torres. handing the Canadians a lead they held through to half-time. Phil Neville's team were quick out of the blocks for the second half, with their Argentinian brothers leading the charge. Gonzalo Higuaín lost his footing before Federico followed up and was clipped by Montreal defender Zohan Basong. An opportunity for Gonzalo to quieten some of his critics, and the former Real Madrid and Juventus man would put all that experience to good use. Calmness personified as he took the penalty. While some detractors questioned Higuaín's fitness after the last game, he looked sharp in this one. Snapping up the loose ball for a shot James Pantemis parried, but couldn't stop. Finally, Miami's first home win of the campaign at the 8th attempt, and the first time they've beaten or even scored against Montreal in 3 meetings this season.
These two teams were directly above Montreal in the standings going into week 16, and New York City FC were intent on stretching their advantage. Tati Castellanos timed his jump better than any in the black and yellow of the Columbus Crew, and the 2020 MLS Cup champions experienced more complications before half-time.
Now Thiago Andrade with Eloy Room out, and Thiago Andrade makes it 2-0 as he chips the keeper.
Lofted passes, however hopeful, were seemingly not to the Crew's liking. Eloy Room prevented the initial damage, but on the follow-up, no one spotted the late run of Keaton Parks. NYCFC bounding towards a 3rd straight win.
Tati Castellanos, top of the tee, rifles one in, saved by Room, cut across, and there it is! Santiago Rodriguez is first, but it will be taken away by the offside flag.
Except the 21-year-old wasn't denied his moment. Video review intervened to show Rodriguez was clearly onside and the celebrations could recommence. NYCFC had thrashed Orlando 5-0 only 6 days prior, and while there was one more goal to come, it wasn't for the hosts. Pedro Santos had his standing leg swiped at inside the penalty area, and then used the other one to score a 97th minute consolation for the Crew. Still, a heavy defeat when you haven't been beaten in more than a month.
With NYCFC on a roll, fellow playoff hopefuls, the Philadelphia Union, were keen to get back to their best form against the side sitting second last in the Eastern standings, the Chicago Fire. The visitors had coach Raphael Wicki back from a 3-game absence for family reasons. And Przemysław Frankowski's header was another big boost. The underdogs ahead inside the first 10 minutes. The complexion of the contest changed, though, when Corey Burke pressured Wyatt Omsberg into a mistake. A weak header followed by a last-ditch challenge that prompted a video review. The Chicago contingent insisted they could see nothing wrong, even when watching the replays. The officials disagreed, deeming it the denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, a red card for the Fire defender, and more punishment to come.
It's Wagner. Goes underneath the wall, he scored! And what a turnaround it is in Philadelphia!
Kai Wagner's first goal for more than a year tipped the balance firmly in the home team's favour. Philadelphia played more than an hour against 10 men, racking up 25 shots in total, but couldn't beat the defiant Fire. Alejandro Bedoya denied, as depleted Chicago stood firm, their first point on the road in 2021.
Toronto FC won in Chicago last week, and speed of thought ensured they got their noses in front against Nashville. This was Omar Gonzalez's first goal in almost 2 years, and scorer immediately sought provider. Jefferson Soteldo initiating liftoff for TFC. But 4 minutes before half-time, Nashville's Robert Castellanos used his head to seize his own headlines. His first start in MLS came equipped with his first goal in the competition. It's now edging towards 3 months since Toronto's last clean sheet, and their obvious flaw was almost exposed again before the break. Alex Bono recovering his position to stop Alistair Johnston from nudging Nashville ahead. Gary Smith's side showed the greater quality in the second half too. The busy Hani Mukhtar created his own piece of space, but should have capitalised on the isolation. Nashville might not be winning on a regular basis, but crucially, they aren't losing games. It's now 8 unbeaten.
With 8 first-teamers absent on international duty or through injury, DC United needed all the help they could get in Cincinnati, and they appeared to have made a blistering start when Moses Nyman threw himself at Drew Skundrich's cross. Enan Lasada's delight didn't last long. Jordi Reyna offside in the build-up to what would have been a third-minute opener. Instead, the game remained goalless into the second half when Nyman's evening took another dispiriting turn. Collecting a clearance, the 17-year-old was caught in possession by Brenner and resorted to drastic action, pulling back the Brazilian to collect the first red card of his budding career. Advantage FC Cincinnati, who'd not won in 5 but now had a huge opportunity. Ronald Matarrita brought the best out of Bill Hamid as Yapstam's side tried to make the extra man count. In stoppage time, the home team was still waiting for a breakthrough when the already booked Josef Mora gave them even more encouragement. His trip on Joe Zhao left DC United down to 9 men for the last couple of minutes. With the sellout crowd ramping up the atmosphere, FC Cincinnati mounted a final push for their first win at the new TQL Stadium. Glory beckoned for Brandon Vasquez. Instead, just more frustration for Stam and his players as the winless streak continued.
With the league's creator-in-chief,
Worldie from Carlos Hill,
and a striker in scintillating form,
Gustavo Bo, driven shot off the crossbar in.
New England have been a revelation in 2021. Could they complete a hat-trick of wins this season against the Red Bulls?
What a great team goal by the New England Revolution.
Commentary comes from Adam Virgo and Dan Roebuck.
This is Duncan. Neat turn and the shot! What a hit that is! A stunning strike. Wiki Carmona with a shot of real venom. And the New York Red Bulls lead by 1-0.
It is an absolute brilliant goal. It really is from Carmona. And Brad Knighton in the goal doesn't really stand a chance at all. And then that one just bends away into that bottom right-hand corner.
Here is Carlos Hill. Just over the head of Traustason. Jones will pick it up, can't quite pull the trigger. Bocan and Buxa and still, and can he find the net? He can't, and then he's cleared off the line. McNamara, post first of all from Buxa with the ball juggling skills inside the 6-yard box, and then McNamara couldn't finish, and the Red Bulls somehow escape.
Well, how they escaped, I don't know.
Jones, a lot of space here for Gustavo. Ball! Arrowed into the corner from the Revs' top scorer, and it's one apiece. Unstoppable.
It's a brilliant, brilliant cutback though from Jones. And when it comes to Gustavo Bo, tell you what, he's not going to strike a sweeter ball than that. Absolutely brilliant there from New England. Now we have a game on.
Fabio, and still, oh yes! Well, it's not the cleanest of strikes, but it doesn't matter, because the Red Bulls' big Brazilian has put the hosts in front once again.
Well, he does well because he just reacts to a deflected pass there from the substitute Yearwood, takes another deflection, and he just hits it early. Certainly not the cleanest strikes that he's ever going to hit, but he will not care. They brought themselves back into the game nicely.
Pelagasa does well. Jones shoulder to shoulder with Duncan. That looked like handball, and it's been given. Carl Duncan.
Well, it's not deliberate, but it certainly strikes the hand. I thought it'd be given handball.
Polster inside the area. Brandon Bye lurks. Pelagasa is up, and it comes. The glancing header goes in. Brandon Bye. Wonderful, wonderful header for 2-2. Carlos Coronel couldn't keep that one out, and we're all square.
It's really, really poor defending. Brandon Bai just gets a free header, but above all, a crucial header.
Red Bulls twice in front, twice pegged back. Quite sure where we got 5 minutes from, but it's been an entertaining fixture. Not complaining. This is Carlos Hill, and this is Buxa! New England Revolution lead the Red Bulls by 3-2. Well, the Red Bulls defence, they've all looked to the assistant to see if the flag was going to go up here. Let's take another look.
He's on. Tolkien plays him on. Just takes that first touch brilliantly, and then the second touch to strike it into the goal.
Full time here. The New York Red Bulls 2, the New England Revolution 3.
The game's 90 minutes, and sometimes things don't go well early. But you got to play. You got to play the full 90 minutes, and we did, and that was the difference in the game.
To the Western Conference now, where the leaders Seattle wanted to get back on track, having lost their unbeaten home record to SKC last week. They can usually rely on Raul Ruiz-Diaz to make a difference, but the top scorer in MLS squandered a golden opportunity to shake up the Quakes. It wasn't long before the Peruvian was face-to-face with San Jose keeper JT Marcinkowski again, thwarted by an excellent save. All the Sounders lacked from a dominant first-half display was a decisive finish, and it cost them dear right before the break.
Espinosa into the penalty area, he found the corner. Super finish from Christian Espinosa.
The pattern in the second half was similar. Seattle looked by far the more threatening team until the closing stages, when Marcos Lopez burst into the box and Chris Wondolowski thought he'd put the result beyond doubt. The veteran forward's effort was disallowed after video review showed the ball had gone out of play earlier in the move. But one goal proved enough for the Quakes' first win in almost 3 months.
Sporting KC were winners at Seattle last weekend too, but the side second in the Western Conference were left flummoxed by FC Dallas early on. Paxton Pomikal's strike appeared as though it'd be tough to rival, but at the start of the second half, his teammate offered some stiff competition of his own.
Ferreira, what a shot! Jesus Ferreira in the top corner, and FC Dallas lead it 2-0.
Once SKC had finished watching a mini goal of the season montage play out in front of them, they weren't left with much time to correct the scoreline. Johnny Russell, one of several who tried to force the matter, a perturbed Peter Vermees aware that his team's 5-match unbeaten run was fast evaporating. It should have vanished there and then when Hada Obrian failed to finish off Ricardo Pepe's legwork, and there would have been even more questions had the visitors not held on to their lead. Time stood still, at least in the Dallas defence, to allow Gadi Kinder to force SKC back into it. But the visitors were aided by the sharp vision of the assistant referee. Dallas hadn't won away all season in MLS, while Kansas hadn't lost at home, so perhaps it was no surprise to see the nerves a little frayed in the closing stages. Russell powered up SKC's chances, but that goal not enough to alter what was an unexpected outcome.
Greg Vanney saw the LA Galaxy put to the sword by Dallas in their last outing. His team's response against the Portland Timbers was spectacular.
The overhead kick is a good one! Oh, my!
Ryan Raveloson with a touch of class that was matched in the celebration. The players paid tribute to the father of their teammate Jonathan Dos Santos, Zizinho, who passed away last week. The Timbers took the setback in their stride, straight on the attack and level within 90 seconds of that opening goal. Jeremy Abobasi had the home defence chasing shadows before tucking away the equaliser in a frantic and gripping 7-minute spell. With the Galaxy reeling, Abobasi forced Jonathan Bond into action before Derek Williams snuffed out the danger. And the goalmouth action kept on coming at both ends of the field.
Araujo takes on Tuiloma. Araujo clips it. Finds Vasquez! 2-1 LA!
Victor Vasquez restored the Galaxy's momentum ahead of the half-time break, and after it they looked determined to add to their tally. When Kevin Cabral was clattered by Steve Clark, Vanney's team had the chance to win themselves some breathing space. Referee Robert Sibica took a dim view of the goalkeeper's clumsy challenge. And Sasha Kleshchen's emphatic penalty put another wrinkle on Giovanni Savarese's brow. With Portland's coach trying to figure out how they could overturn a 2-goal deficit, all hope was lost just 3 minutes later. Julian Araujo breaking free to help the Galaxy seal a resounding victory.
Goal! And it's not Vincent Grandsir for his first goal in Major League Soccer.
A place behind the Galaxy in the standings, the Colorado Rapids, who'd had an encouraging July until their comprehensive defeat to Real Salt Lake last time out. Their opening goal against Austin FC wasn't particularly pleasing on the eye, but was Andre Shinyashiki's second this season against the team from Texas. Austin's keeper, Brad Stuver, would probably classify himself as the unfortunate party amongst all of that, but his save from Michael Barrios just before half-time was particularly eye-catching. Austin's first ever win in MLS was against the Rapids, but they've only got 2 victories in 3 months since then. Goals have been a problem, highlighted by their best offering coming from range from their right-back, Hector Jimenez.
In their final appearance at their temporary home in Utah, the Vancouver Whitecaps gained an edge over Minnesota when Christian Dahome raced clear to slot away his 3rd goal in the last 4 appearances. A blow to the Loons' prospects of tightening their grip on a playoff position, but Adrian Heath's men put themselves back on terms just before half-time, thanks to Ethan Finley's deadly finish. The resilience you'd expect from a Minnesota side who'd lost just one of their last 11 matches. And substitute Adrian Unu was inches from adding a second after the break as they pushed to complete the turnaround. Vancouver could ill afford the wayward pass that had them on the defensive again. This time there'd be no lucky escape. Robin Lurd's strike had Minnesota in front and the Caps craving the comforts of home. After 3 successive road trips, the Canadians will be able to step out at BC Place later this month, now the pandemic restrictions are easing. Their very last memory of Rio Tinto Stadium won't be bad. Deep into stoppage time, Dahome went to ground in a tangle with Finley. Heath and his team were incensed to see a penalty awarded, saying the referee fell for it. Dahome remained unmoved by the fuss. The Colombian accepted the parting gift for Vancouver, hurting himself in the process, but also inflicting some pain on the Loons right at the last. And leaving their coach on the sidelines, very aggrieved.
Away from Rio Tinto Stadium, Real Salt Lake were at the Houston Dynamo. These are 2 teams who are flirting with the idea of launching a serious push for a playoff place in the Western Conference. RSL, at least currently, are looking the more likely to extend their season. Michael Chang stopped by combination of goalkeeper and post. Houston, meanwhile, have to improve. An 8-game winless run isn't quite so startling when you note that 6 of them have been draws. They rattled Aluminium too via Memo Rodriguez. It was becoming a trend. Albert Ruznak did the same at the start of the second half for RSL as he lashed at his big opportunity and then won for the Dynamo in the form of a numerical advantage. An off-the-ball incident involving Justin Glad saw him cautioned for a second time, with the referee having the best view in the house. It added to the tension at BBVA Stadium. With just seconds of stoppage time left, it was RSL keeper Zach McMath who willingly played the role of the anti-hero. The sum total, a stalemate in Texas.
It's as you were in the West, not only for Houston and RSL after that draw, but the whole conference with no movement at all following Week 16's results. The LA Galaxy did manage to close the gap on the top 2, who both suffered home defeats.
New England's lead at the top of the East now stands at 8 points, while Orlando are up to second after their late win against Atlanta. NYCFC's dismantling of Columbus lifts them into 4th.
We leave you with the audacious and the devastating.
Adam Buxa with the go-ahead goal in stoppage time. Tabata. Early delivery, nodded in by Nani. Perfect timing from the main man. A paragon of productivity.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.